This podcast is brought to you by Media8.
Have you ever seen such chaos?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Corner, the only place you get three fat blokes and an ex-England cricket captain telling athletes how shit they are and what they do well sometimes every now and then. Today we're coming live, sort of, from Mad Panda Studios down at Mermaid Beach. We won't hold hands there, Chris.
No.
Well,
Right. We're live.
We're live, and as you can hear the whistle in the background, Adam Hollyoak is live on the interweb. Can you hear us, Adam?
I got you, boys.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey.
Was that loud?
That's very loud. What was that whistle in the background?
Yeah, whereabouts are you, Adam?
Probably my boys' team being scored on again.
He scored on. Didn't you say he just went over for a try?
No,
That's what I thought he
they had
said.
they conceded a try. They conceded their second try now.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
What are we guessing that score's going to end up?
Which
Cricket
son's
score.
playing?
It'll be a cricket score.
One of
Just
yours?
added
What,
the
one?
eldest one.
Yeah.
He's going to be a Hollyoak cricket score?
Yeah, well, yeah, 0.
It's 2-0.
Exactly.
Anyway, boys, this week's question. On my left, obviously, I've got Christopher, and on my right, I've got Roberto. This week's intro question. If you're a superhero, who would you be and why? We'll start with you, Robert.
I just reckon Deadpool's the coolest dude in the world.
He's fucking awesome.
He's good. I'm going with Deadpool.
Do you reckon they'd ever make a Mrs. Deadpool? You know, like they did Superman and Supergirl?
Well, if I'm Deadpool, I hope Margot Robbie's Mrs. Deadpool.
Well, they did Wonder Woman as well.
Do they do
I don't
Wonder
even
Man?
know what was Deadpool's superpower. I don't even know that one.
Just being a smart ass.
He was
He
100%
can't-
a
He
smart
can't
ass.
die.
Well, you
He
basically
can't,
are
and he
him
can't
already,
die,
don't you?
yeah.
Oh, that's right. He can't die. Yeah.
I'd say that as a compliment.
I'm on the track.
What about you, Christopher?
That's a good question, Brett. One I haven't thought about.
I thought you just said Wonder Woman.
No. I mean, Batman is cool.
Batman!
Doesn't have a superpower.
Doesn't
he's
need one.
It's just some
fucking-
rich bloke with
But
lots
he's
of toys.
fucking minted.
Yeah.
So
Batman.
that interests me a
You
little
be
bit.
Batman, I'll be Robin.
Yeah, I just like it.
Jesus.
I just like that's creepy. I just like the idea of having a butler as well that you can just
what?
call on at any time.
Did you say Butler?
Did you say butler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Um.
I heard butt plug, but
Well.
These seats are comfortable.
Yeah. Don't know where to go from there.
yeah, that's right. What do you reckon, Mr. Hollyoak? Who are you?
Well, I don't know. All I know is I'm wondering why Superman's weakness was kryptonite. That's I sort of got the ADHD kicked in, and I was thinking, what is kryptonite even, and why do superheroes have weaknesses?
Mm.
It's a good point.
Your nipples would definitely pierce through Superman's outfit too.
I'm just really concerned you thought about that so
Yeah.
much, personally.
Well, I hadn't, but I had just then. It was just
But
then.
now you have. Why it be Supergirl, and why not?
Supergirl.
Yeah, why not?
What a
Supergirl's hot as fuck.
I don't know who she is.
Why would you be Supergirl? That's the follow-up.
What would you do if you were a girl for the first hour of your life?
Oh, dear. This is not going to
Jesus.
go well.
And
Moving on.
Thanks for joining us today for the podcast.
Thanks so much to our sponsors, Platinum Standard Grading Local Card Shop, Media8 Sports, and Official Beer Co., one of the best beers on the planet, currently served to you at the Yard at Mermaid Beach.
Where are we going after this?
To the Yard to have an
Beautiful.
official beer, alcoholic ginger beer. Beautiful.
I'll have one.
I'm having a pizza.
Okay, boys, so this week, obviously, we're at Mad Panda Studios. It's completely different to where we normally are. There's a bit of cricket on the wall over there. Oh, no, that's rugby league, isn't it? That's the original
Rugby.
Titans photo on the wall over there.
No, it can't be. There's a crowd.
Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. What, a few big things have happened in the NBA this week.
Yeah, they're all tall.
Idiot.
Wow. The Lakers got clean sweeps.
swept.
So I love every time something like this happens with LeBron, it always comes out, Jordan never got swept in the finals, and Jordan's
Yeah,
obviously the
now
GOAT
he's retiring.
and all that sort of stuff.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Another call coming in.
Yeah, that's a car.
Chris joined us.
Yeah, and LeBron's retiring, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
My microphone's about to fall off the stand, so you guys just keep chatting amongst
Okay.
yourselves.
No worries. Probably
Yeah.
better that way.
What did he say? That he can't.
I think he'll just use it as you need to put more money in and we need to get Kyrie.
Or does he
something
go somewhere else again?
like- I don't think he goes anywhere else.
Has anyone ever won 4 championships at 4 different clubs?
I don't know the answer to that question. Horry, how many clubs did he play for?
3. He won 7 in 3.
Yeah, it's
He did all right.
It's pretty special effort.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously Jordan's the GOAT, always will be.
Yep.
What about in cricket, Smokes? Do people ever ask these same sort of questions about who's the GOAT?
Who's the GOAT?
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting one, actually. I mean, I think...
Well, Bradman's the GOAT, isn't he?
I don't know. I'm sure you just asked me the question, didn't you?
Yeah, let him answer.
And then answer
No,
it yourself.
actually, the question I asked you was, has anyone questioned who the GOAT is? Because the GOAT's obviously Bradman.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Fuck,
Well,
he doesn't even
the
listen.
goat is the batsman is Bradman, but it's hard to. I mean, there's always the thing with, for me, Test match cricket, bowlers win games. It's like everyone, obviously the flashy people are the batters, and they're the ones that get a lot of the credit. But there's all the great sides, the West Indies in the 70s, Australia in the 90s and early 2000s, built around amazing bowling attacks. So for me, I think the greatest cricketer, and it'd be controversial, would be a bowler. So
If you had to pick, who would it be?
well, this will be controversial as well because he was accused of
Muirlithran, I bet
throwing.
she's going to say.
Yeah. So it'd be Muirlithran or Warren would be the two. So I think.
But isn't that what you said last week, though? You mentioned about like McGill and stuff when we were talking about that, about how he was a different type of bowler, blah, blah, blah. Isn't it merely just because the amount of wickets he took? Is that why you're doing that?
Well, that's the object of bowling. It's
No, I get that, but is that the reason he's the GOAT? Is because of the number of wickets versus the amount of test played or any of that sort of stuff? Or is there another reason?
Well, there's that. That's the sort of. I mean, if you were talking about who's the greatest rugby player, you'd probably say the person who scored the most amount of tries because the object of the game is to score tries. But there's other elements of the game. The thing with Murley was you could pluck him out of any side in any conditions and put him into another side, and that side would immediately become a danger. Like, as in, they could be ranked first, or maybe not first, but second in the world. Or it's an amazing ability because he could bowl. First of all, being a spinner, he could bowl half the overs.
And his economy rate was pretty good too.
Well, it's incredible.
He's so hard to get away.
I mean, you just never got on top of him. Well, I certainly didn't anyway. It was like literally, I spent the whole.
He's not your type, is he?
The whole game just basically getting hit on the pads. So he just spun the ball so far, and then when he started learning how to spin the one the other way, he was actually the most incredible. I mean, Warney was amazing because he had his personality and obviously his massive skill, and he just had a great stock delivery. But he never really fooled you with. He didn't have a great googly. He didn't have an amazing array of deliveries. Murley had everything. His stock ball just spun. And the first time I ever faced him, the only advice I ever got told before I faced him was don't try and hit him through the offside unless it's a full toss. And he doesn't bowl full tosses. The first ball he bowled at me, I thought was a knee-high full toss outside off stump, and it dropped out of the sky so quickly and literally landed on the length. So it's the amount of revolutions. It's like, when you hit a top spin ball in tennis, how much the ball drops. It was like that. It was quite. I've never faced anything else like it. So that's why it's a long-winded way of saying that's why I've got him as the GOAT.
Wow, Murley v. Bradman. What do you got, Rob?
Oh, Bradman.
Why?
He's only got 50% above the average of any other player ever.
Yeah, there is a big gap, isn't there?
Uncovered wickets. Yeah, I don't know.
I think Bradman.
I don't think it really matters. Bradman. Sorry, mate.
Bradman, and that. Well, what Rob's saying there is a fair point. Like that would be your counter argument. Everyone says, "Oh, but back in that day, it was easier, or he wouldn't do it against these days bowlers." Well, the best players in that era averaged 50. The best players in my era averaged 50. The best players in this current era averaged 50. Bradman averaged 100, give or take. And
it's
that's
true.
I guess the equivalent of a bowler averaging 10 So
The only
I
thing
guess
is that
Oh, it's got to
I
be
guess
Scotty Ball, then, doesn't it?
I'm kind of counter arguing my own argument here by
but he made most of
agreeing.
his runs against England, which really
Doesn't count.
makes it a bit easier.
So, have you just talked yourself out of your Murley argument?
Yeah,
Now,
I'm
now
going
you've
for
argued
Bradman.
with yourself. Yeah, back. Who you got, Christopher?
Yeah, I think Bradman's the
There's a
logic.
microphone. mate.
Bradman's the logical answer. There's arguments for like 5 or 6 different other people,
Who?
but well,
Name one.
Viv Richards, Tendulkar.
Good cricketers, but not goats.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think you can compare people of different eras.
This is
It's a
my
different-
thing. It's a
it's a di-
goatee,
It's a different game. Like
greatest of their era.
the basketball is like not the same now than it was when Jordan was playing.
Yeah.
So
So it's like Wilt versus Jordan.
yeah,
As a
or
goat. It's
or
one of those
LeBron,
sort of things,
but
isn't it?
it's changed in like the last 10 years.
There's actually a really good blog on the PSG website about this.
Is it?
Yeah, I wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate the GOAT argument, like, because you can't compare the eras. So
Hey, football goat, as in soccer. Who's the first?
Pele.
I go Pele.
look at Messi.
Maradona.
There you go. It's funny, isn't it? Why Maradona? Because he cheated against England?
Because I saw him play, and I didn't see Pele. But I find it hard. I always find it hard to call people the GOAT unless there's amazing statistical evidence otherwise, like Bradman. I obviously never saw Bradman play, but I always find it hard, and that's why I think there's that argument with LeBron. Is I'm not a basketball expert, but there's that current generation who see him play, and Jordan's just someone who played back in the day. Anyone under the age of probably 40 probably hasn't seen Jordan play. So it's or he wasn't, or maybe 30 or something like that. So the younger generation haven't seen him play. So I think that always, what do they call it? Generational favoritism, or
Yep.
so. I don't know. I think those things are hard. But I disagree with Chris in that I just think it's a great argument because it's never ending. So
I saw footage of Maradona scoring a goal the other day, and some guy ran on the field with a huge bag of coke, and he did a bump
What? Whilst he was playing?
whilst playing. This is back in the 80s, 90s.
Have you
Wow.
seen that? Have you seen that footage of him kicking that bloke in the head?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He just I mean, that doesn't make him the GOAT, obviously, but it's pretty funny.
Well, I find goats funny as well, like the ones that always see videos
Just
of them.
one
Taylor
goat.
Swift.
Yeah, making those noises and shit, the ones that fall over. Like, goats are fucking hilarious.
Okay, so on this topic, entertainer versus prowess. Like we're talking to John Daly at the moment, right? And John Daly, I love, one of my favourite golfers because of who he is. Obviously, can hit the ball. Love his statement. If golf was 13 holes, he would have won every major at least 10 times. Because he was either pissed or he was buggered by the end of it.
Yep.
What do you prefer? If you looked at, okay, let's say the same sports, cricket, soccer, basketball, who's your favourite entertainer versus the prowess or the most technical? What do you got?
Well, I think I'll go. I
You
think
go first,
Warney-
Adam. That's a good idea.
Warney. I think this is where people get confused because Warney is definitely the GOAT as far as entertainment and just the whole theatre of what he does and everything like that. So, but I think just for pure cricketing terms, then he goes to GOAT. This will be really controversial because this is the original GOAT. The original GOAT, I think the person who might have even invented the acronym is Muhammad Ali. Everyone calls him the greatest of all time. I don't think he's the best boxer that's ever lived. I think
No one says he is. He's the greatest.
Pardon?
He's the greatest.
He's
But he's the greatest of all time. That's how the saying came about from him. And but I think he's the greatest personality. There's no doubt about that. But if you were talking about a straight heavyweight fight, I think there'd probably be a few people that you'd put ahead of him. And then as far as going through the other weights, then then who? You're gonna ask me who?
Yeah, who? Who's the greatest heavyweight of all time? Prowess versus entertainment. Entertainment, yep, I agree. Ali.
I think there's a number. Again, this argument, like I said, is never ending. But I think
What
a
is, you gotta
prime,
Feels like it.
You got to pick one. It's the world's longest question.
if we're talking about prime, I don't think I've ever seen anyone as destructive as a prime Tyson. But
Agreed.
that prime was so short. It was only
when he got out of jail.
Nah, before that, before he went into jail. Yeah, when he got out of jail, he just looked like a killer.
He fucking looked. Oh.
And then you look at like a Tyson Fury now. I just look at him and I go, how's so big? You know, he's nearly 300 pounds, moves like a middleweight, southpaw, everything that you wouldn't want. I mean, but he's not pretty like Ali. He doesn't have the personality. It's like, there's so many factors, isn't there? So
where's Joshua fit in that?
He doesn't.
No, he doesn't, unfortunately. I don't think he even fits in the greatest of his generation. So, I mean, he would be another one that's only probably spoken about because of his marketability and he's handsome, attractive, and there's so many things I think.
Stop talking about me.
The GOAT comes back to what defines the GOAT. Is it, your personality? Does that come into it?
No, I think that's where my question is. The question comes in here of like the entertainment versus the prowess. Like, so if you had to have a GOAT for entertainment, you're talking Ali for boxing and Tyson at his peak.
Yeah, only for a short period, yeah.
That's right, he's still there.
You know, a great sport to do that comparison would be tennis.
Okay, so who you got
because
tennis?
You look at back in the 80s and you had Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe.
Yep.
Who would you want to sit down and watch?
McEnroe.
McEnroe every day.
Whereas Borg was such a better tennis player.
Absolutely. Sampras versus Kyrgios. I'd watch a Kyrgios game.
Yeah.
Over someone.
Come on.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't put Kyrgios and Sampras in the same breath.
You can.
You can't. No,
you can about who I would sit down and watch. I'm not saying tennis skill. Absolutely nowhere near it.
Entertainment prowess.
Yeah, it's the whole entertainment part.
I get that, but you can't compare a bloke who's won 14 majors with one who's never won any.
Okay, fair enough. Let me
He's
rephrase
He's won a doubles.
He's
won a doubles.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah,
let me rephrase it. No, let me rephrase. You calling Tanasi a girl? I'll rephrase it. I'd rather watch Kyrgios. I'd rather watch Kyrgios over Federer.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll rephrase it. Yeah, I'm just trying to help Adam. Come to terms with my comparison.
I get what you're saying. Rob, I totally understand what you're saying, and I actually
you talk more when you're on the phone than when you're doing the.
That's true.
Studio. Have you noticed that?
I love him. He's my favourite man.
Christopher, you're next.
Do we still have time, or? I'm just thinking.
You pick any sport.
Any sports. Fuck, I can't even think of a sport anymore. But like going back to your tennis example, like I think someone to watch would be like Anna Kournikova, number one. That's probably the one I'd prefer to watch.
I'll agree with you on that one.
How does she get so many mentions in this podcast?
That's 2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But then someone great, like I don't know how you don't think. Sorry, going back, I don't know how Federer is really, really good to watch. Djokovic is boring as batshit.
Yeah. No, he's great to watch. He's great. Oh no, I love watching him.
He was
play.
saying the more Kyrgios first.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm hearing that.
But Kyrgios is much watched TV because he has blow ups.
That's right.
He's the new McEnroe.
So one of the things I love is when Canberra or Melbourne Storm are losing because the coaches blow up in the box.
Well, what about West Tigers when they win by 50?
Yeah, and then the coach goes to the press conference and then blows the fuck up. That shit's hilarious to me.
That is. Tim Sheens is on fire.
I think that's there, and Bellamy and Ricky Stewart just going up in the press conference. I think like say Tom Brady for example.
Yep.
Probably boring as batshit to watch.
Yep.
Because he's just clinically so good.
Yeah, he's just so good at dropping back, finding the right pass.
So who's the most entertaining?
Well, you've got to go one of the ones that's the dual threat. So Mahomes or
Jefferson or someone.
Lamar. Like that's Kyler Murray to an extent as well.
I like Kyler Murray.
When they get out of the pocket, they just run. It's cool to watch. But like Brady and Aaron Rodgers, that they've been to the top of the game for so long, but they're pretty methodical and boring.
Rodgers is about to win another Super Bowl.
He is.
No,
There you go, the Jets.
No, he's fucking not.
Well, see, I look at even in the same team, you got Rodman and Jordan. Two completely different, both entertainers, but two completely different human beings that actually one gives you all that entertainment value. But going back to the original comment here, which we went a little bit off target, was the whole John Daly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
watching golf, and golf isn't the most exciting sport to watch, obviously. But watching Daly, it's like Tiger. Everyone watches Tiger because it's Tiger. But then you got like better golfers out there.
Yeah, like that Scotty Scheffler and
They're
Oh,
unbelievable.
boy.
they're fucking so good. But Jesus, it's a snore fest.
Yeah.
Because Morikawa, perfect example. Like you just know that he's going to put the ball within 10 feet.
Yeah,
And there's
every
no,
shot.
and it's just clinical.
Yep.
Whereas Daly smokes darts. The other bloke, the guy that warms up with a cigar, I forget his name. The Spanish, I think he's Spanish, but he's fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not the
But
same.
even Tiger Woods in his prime, like he was a ridiculously good player, but also, there was always a bit of flair with him, and the
Yeah.
fist pumps when he'd make a
Yeah.
big putt.
Yeah.
And there's very little of that in golf.
So on that, do you think sport has changed nowadays where we're actually looking more for the entertainment than we are for the prowess?
No, I think it's the other way. I think we bash the entertainment out of people.
No, well, depending on because we're old white people. So the
Adam?
the younger
An old
ki-
white person?
well, no, we're just old. Like the younger generation are probably more about the entertainment than.
So
we
how
are.
would the young generation take Daly, you reckon?
I don't even think they know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is more that, you look at, we'll take Adam's sport cricket. Back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we had Merv Hughes running around, being a goose and doing all that kind of stuff. None of the cricketers will do that these days because they're too worried about the next contract.
And it's the professionalism, I
Yeah.
think it's the word we're after.
Yeah, well,
But
whatever it is.
There's so much money at stake now that I think the people spend a lot more time thinking about their marketability, and then I think to be controversial is in
Is
a
rough out.
team environment is hard. Yeah, it's tough.
Well,
You just got to be So,
Toby Rudolph's a perfect example of that.
Who's he?
Long-haired guy that plays for the Sharks. He was
Oh,
a
yeah.
character.
Yep.
And then they won a close game, and he got interviewed by Matty Johns after the game, and they said, "What are you going to do now?" He goes, "I'm going to go to Northies and hook up with anything that's breathing."
Wow.
Right?
You can't say that shit,
He said it on the Matty Johns show at 9:30 at night,
which is a joke fest.
which is so to me it's fine,
Yeah.
but he got crucified for it.
Yep.
Think about Brent Todd. Like
Yeah.
20 years ago, he was the big signing from Sydney coming up to the Gold Coast to play rugby league, and they said, "Why'd you sign the contract?" He goes, "Because there's hot birds up there. I'm going to fuck them all."
His nephew came into the local
He
card shop.
said that on live TV.
How was that, though? His
Yeah.
nephew walks into the local card shop. There's a box of cards with Brent Todd's face on the front of the box. He goes, "That's my uncle." And so rang him
Was
while he was
there-
in the shop.
So there's a
Birds?
real fine line between marketability
Yeah.
and towing the company line.
there's a fine line between marketability and being a complete buckwit.
yeah. But
Well, speaking
Love
of fuckwits,
I'm here.
yeah, you still there, Smokes?
There's a lot still. It's still happening in the NRL, in AFL, and all these different leagues and stuff where people are getting themselves in trouble either for beating up their missus or doing whatever they're doing. This shit is so ripe. Like we were talking about a ex-football player that got done for kiddie porn, and the other day, can we name him?
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Anyway, but everyone's going, yeah, but it was only so he could get coke. That was the reason he was doing
Yeah,
it.
justifying it by
And it was like,
dobbing him in for an illegal act.
how can you justify any of that shit? And it's these guys. You got to remember they're not that bright.
I think there's a real difference though between being a character and breaking the law. Let's be clear on
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah, no, that's fair.
saying I'm moving to the Gold Coast to fuck every bird because
It's
they're
not
hot.
the same as putting kiddie porn on the black web.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
absolutely.
Yeah.
in an attempt to get cocaine. What is interesting about that is that they've all got together. He got together and they said, "Okay, let's come up with the best excuse that we can come up with," and that's the thing you come up with.
Yeah.
That's so true. It just shows you how bright these blokes are, isn't it? It's like unbelievable. Anyway,
Well,
sorry,
Can
go.
I just on the topic of being bright and different sports? I know. No, not on the topic of kickball. I know cricket's got a big history of having match fixing, and the one thing I always love doing is talking about the NRL boys when they try to match fix.
That's the best, isn't it?
Cricket had been doing it for like 40 years. No one found out about it until Hansi Cronje actually admitted, because the first came out and honestly opened up about it. But NRL boys had money on the try. Or was it? No, it was
The first scoring
conversion.
play.
A penalty, and both scores a try. That's the best.
and the guy got put away for it.
And he got caught. He got caught, didn't he?
You know you're clever when that shit happens, don't you?
Yeah. Actually, that'll be a good topic for next week's podcast, Brett. It would be the dumbest sporting moment.
I love it. We should do that. We're going to do some investigations.
Yellow sandpaper is a starter, surely.
What about the other one where, what was his name, where he left that ball and Warnes just sort of bowled him?
That's not dumb. That's just shit.
Yeah, no, it is true, though. When you look at yellow sandpaper, you look at like match fixing.
I don't think the show is long enough because there's been some absolute stinkers.
Oh, I love it, though. We'll put that in for next week. That's a sensational idea. Anyway, boys, this week has been a very big week because I didn't lose any bets, so I was pretty happy with that.
Did you win any?
No, but I didn't have any, so that was a good thing. The NRL, obviously, with the rotating coaches, it's really funny because normally what happens in the NRL is someone gets sacked and then you get a new coach. Now the big hoo-ha is that one guy got sacked, one guy got extended, so now they're going, well, who's going to coach who? It's really bizarre, like the whole Riles story. That's out there at the minute.
So what happened with that in the end?
So Riles is assistant coach at Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
No, Roosters.
Roosters. Yeah.
And then, but he's next in line for the Melbourne job. But then the St George coach got sacked. So then now they're saying, don't take the St George job. But then, because you're going to get the Melbourne job, and then the Melbourne job, he extended.
came out, yeah.
He extended for another year. So then this guy's sitting there going, what the fuck do I do now?
But haven't the Roosters also come out and said, if you take this job, we want compensation, you can piss off now?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Which I think it's terrible. In AFL, all the assistant coaches have a senior coaching clause in their contracts.
So if they get offered a senior coaching job, that's interesting.
I think most clubs would be really proud of their coaches to step up.
But one thing it did prove this week was my theory that if you sack a coach and put an interim one in, they win, and they did.
Well,
the Dragons got up.
Well, then we got a big story coming up this week in AFL footy. Then
who are the Tigers playing?
They got Port Adelaide, massive game.
We'll get to that shortly. So in the NRL, obviously it's fins down this week.
Fins flopped.
What?
They're a bit floppy, weren't they?
Floppy fins.
It was Jay Wall's 200th.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't watch it.
They got beat.
I watched the last 2 minutes.
All that matters is the Mighty Seagulls got back up. We're back on track, and Tommy T said "fuck you" to everyone and scored a hat trick.
He was good.
He's a very, very good football player, and someone questioned him, so let's go and score a hat trick. Wish I had money on that. What about your boys? How'd they go?
Hat trick against the Raiders.
Doesn't matter. Up the milk.
Yeah, go the milk. My boys. Yeah, I think my boys beat Newcastle.
I've gone up 2 spots.
Yeah, I think
everyone must have went bad.
Yeah, I think it's a bad week on average.
So I got 4. Yeah, where am I now? I'm sitting 6th, it says, but it's actually equal second.
It's not equal.
There's only 1 point in front of me.
Well, then you're going well.
I'm doing all right.
It's a shit comp then,
It is a really bad comp when you get 4. Everyone else got 3. Someone got a 5 in there.
They cheated.
Someone got a 6. ESP fan 0082. Don't know who that is.
Someone who doesn't want to put their name.
And where are you boys sitting on this ladder, actually?
Keep going to the bottom. And
what do you call? Fins up 16 is coming 34th.
Yeah.
And what's yours, Rob?
Gold Coast Lion.
You're not even on the left.
Gold Coast Lynn or local card shop.
Where is he?
Just above 34.
Oh, yeah, right. Big note.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a very interesting round of footy. And
this round will be interesting too with all the Origin players out.
Yeah,
so it's only half a round, isn't it?
Yeah, like Manly. Who's in their team?
Oh, we know one
that you trust.
Actually, they just signed Jesse Arthur.
Jesse Arthur?
Someone Arthur.
Isn't Jesse Arthur like? Oh no, that was Mickey Arthur that coached the Poms.
Who was it? Jesse Arthur, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Some new kid.
He's not new.
Halfback.
He's Brad Arthur's kid. He's been playing at Para.
Yeah, that kid.
So you've drawn the line through Matty Johns' kid then.
No, they're playing together, I believe.
Really?
There's no one else.
There's no one else. So here we go. We've got Dolphins St George. Dolphins are at 91%.
Yeah, because they'll win.
Yeah, at home.
At home. And they've got the Dragons have lost Hunt, obviously, because of Origin. So they're going to be shit.
Their only good player.
It's a controversial decision, captain for the Dragons. Did anyone see that?
No.
Jack de Bellin.
No.
Yeah. Couple of the Instagram
There you go, Smokes. There's one to add to the fucked upness.
couple of the accounts I follow are just like, what the fuck are they doing here? Like, read the room, you fucking mongs.
That's like, you know, that commentator that got done for beating up his missus.
Paul Kent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some NRL 360 or someone's put on there. And it got Brad Hodge. No, not Brad Hodge. Wrong Hodge, sorry. The football player. The
Luke.
one that got...
Luke Hodge.
Nah, not him either. Oh, fuck.
Brad Fittler.
Nah, the guy that got done for beating up his missus in New York.
Oh, mate.
Rugby league player. Anyway, he's commented on it. Just saying this shouldn't be allowed, or he should sack the guy that got done like a year ago for beating up his missus in New York City and then sacked from his team. Anyway, would have been such a better story if I remembered their names.
Yeah.
Parramatta, North Queensland. There you go.
Parramatta.
There you got, Smokey.
I don't know. I give up, mate. I got 1 out of 8 last week. I got a message. This is how bad it was. I got a message from ESPN saying terrible tipping. I was like, as if I don't know 1 out of 8 is shit. It's like,
rub it in, you bastard.
It's no shit, Sherlock.
I've got that email before.
Yeah, I've had it.
What about Warriors, Brisbane in New Zealand?
Warriors.
Has to be the Warriors.
Got to be the Warriors.
Got to be the Warriors.
South Sydney versus Canberra. This will be interesting, actually, because you're going to have a lot of South players out, aren't you?
No.
No, only Latrell.
Cam Murray.
Did he make it?
Yeah.
Or is he still 18th man?
No, that's Campbell Graham.
Oh, okay. I'm going good today. I'm on fire. I'm going South Canberra. And the mighty Manly Seagulls against Newcastle. Newcastle are favourites.
That stinks.
Manly's at $3.25.
Oh, I'm tipping Newcastle just off the Kalen Ponga.
Yeah.
We'll rip and tear.
Who scored more points in their career, Andrew Johns or Jonathan Thurston?
JT.
KT.
Yeah, I'll go Andrew Johns just to be different.
Oh, I think it's actually JT.
I think it'll be close.
Jonathan Thurston, 2,222.
No.
Andrew Johns, 2,176.
Really, 2,222.
Two.
That's brilliant.
That's
love
pretty
it.
good, isn't it? Pretty good. So there we go. Dolphins, Para, New Zealand Warriors,
Only
South
5
Sydney
games this
and
week.
Manly, only 5 games. And then obviously the most important ones next Wednesday. What do you got? It's tough.
Queensland. I don't like saying it. I don't like you saying it either. Neutral ground.
It's in Adelaide, isn't it?
Yeah, I just love their team. I think there's
It is
a
a good
lot of guys in form. I don't agree with Freddie playing the wingers on opposite sides to what they normally play for their club.
Why would you do that?
Who the fuck knows? It makes sense. I'm not a rugby league expert.
Neither is Freddie.
To be. Oh fuck, he's better than me and you.
Oh, that's one of the best burns of all time.
But seriously, like, I don't understand. If you're a
So
left
literally,
winger,
he's got a 2 playing in the 5 and a 5 playing in the 2.
Yeah.
So you could have just gone, and they'd be in their normal positions.
Yeah, but I don't think it fits
it doesn't fit with these two
what
fullbacks
they're
that are playing
what
centre.
they're trying to do.
And then their fullback who's shit this year, which is Teddy.
This is the thing.
But let's the big thing I think of this whole Origin thing is all the media and all the New South Wales supporters come out going, "Oh, you fucking pick and stick." Like they've made 3 changes. They've dropped 3 people. They're allowed to drop people. Queensland.
Yeah.
Like obviously Papali retired. I don't know if that was retired before
Papali.
pushed. Yeah. But you can't fault them for picking the fullback because obviously, what's his name?
Kalen Ponga.
Kalen Ponga. He's had the head knocks this year.
Yep.
He went off for a HIA.
The last thing you need
weekend.
is in the first 5 minutes of an Origin to lose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I was scared. Oh, Hammer should have made it, I reckon.
He did.
Did he?
He's in the centres.
Oh, awesome. I didn't
That's
see the
another
team.
thing, though. So, Hammer and Val Holmes are in the centres. So,
Once again, 2 fullbacks in the centres.
well, fullbacks. I don't know where Val's been playing, but Hammer's been a fullback this year and trying to tackle Tommy and Latrell is fucking tough going.
That's
So
the reason why I think New South Wales will win.
So they've dropped Gagai, which
There goes my multi.
for as long as time, Gagai has been struggling club footy, but puts on the maroon jersey.
He
and
scores
turns
every,
into a fucking
Yeah,
superstar.
I agree 100%.
I think Teddy's going to do that.
We hope.
Average club form, but then just turns into a superstar.
Love it.
I know your boy scored 3 tries on the weekend.
I don't think he's fit still.
I don't think he's ready for Origin.
Yeah.
But again, not an expert, just my opinion.
I'm going to back him for 3 tries in Origin.
I'd probably back him for man of the match.
Yeah.
Like,
After that statement.
Yeah. And then
I agree though.
The other one was the second rower Sharks player Penrith went to Brisbane now. Forget his name. The other guy Queensland have dropped. It'll come to me later. But they've got so many back rows in form. It's just tough. Like, someone has to miss out.
Who you got, Smokes?
I'm supporting Queensland, but I think New South Wales are going to take the first one.
I agree.
I just think they're too big. I mean, the big. I mean, the good players on both sides. But if you look at that New South Wales side, it's stacked.
I think Papali'i is a big miss for Queensland because he's a massive human being and he's always done really well in Origin. I think that's one of their big losses. I think us losing Jake's an issue because you've got a front row that can play or whatever. They put him in the front row, but they can play 80 minutes. So you who you got? Who you tipping? New South Wales?
I think so. I think I just look at that side. I don't see any holes in that New South Wales side. So, but the Queensland spirit, because it's amazing how often they get up. So
it's ridiculous.
Kurt Capel's another guy they dropped.
Oh, okay. What do you got, Rob?
Born in Victoria, live in Queensland, bred to hate New South Wales, but I think they'll win.
Nice. I'm New South Wales all day. I can't tip against them.
Yep.
And I reckon it'll be 27-24.
Jesus. We'll enjoy that game. That'll be a ripper.
That probably won't be, but anyway, there we go. And massive news in AFL.
I'm still shocked.
Well, last week was...
the Bombers winning in the last second of the game.
Well, that's what's the catalyst of what started.
I was just talking about the Swans winning.
Oh, yeah.
That was disgraceful.
That was a shock too.
But
fucking...
here we go again.
Check the sports bet accounts of those umpires.
Wasn't the umpires. What I find funny about that is that rule was implemented because Sydney put an extra player on the field against North Melbourne all those years ago.
Always cheating.
And
can I just say, whose fault was it?
Oh, it's North, mate.
So North fucked up.
Just don't get
Do
excited.
you not?
Doesn't matter. We won.
Do you not believe the umpires should notify?
They did.
I thought it was the argument was that they didn't.
No, they did. They notified at 70, and then it's up to the team to...
Oh, so, yeah, they're notified when there's 5 left.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And the thing is, the crowd, I fucking would have hated being sitting in that crowd.
Well, we said
Because-
yesterday,
yeah.
Pete was sitting there and didn't find out till he got back to the
No
hotel.
one knew what happened. That was just bizarre. It's amazing there wasn't a riot. There needs to be investigation.
Well, there was only 7 people there, so...
Yeah, that's not a bad call. They could have just
But
told
no-
them all. They could have went 1-1.
Damien
Just told them
Hardwick.
what happened. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Last week you lost North Melbourne's coach. And that was obviously because he's a racist at Hawthorn.
Allegedly.
I can't believe you said that.
Allegedly, sorry.
Apparently will be cleared within the next week.
Yep, that's fine.
So
if he
that's
is, good luck. That's no problem. Obviously, the stress of that's bad.
Yeah.
What happened with Dimmy, sorry.
I'll tell you what, there's a massive story that started today.
And what
about
is
this.
it?
So he said that it was, he was fatigued and didn't really want to.
This is the Richmond coach, Smokes.
This is the Richmond coach, Andrew Voss, your mate, came out.
Vossi?
Yep, Vossi's come out today. And he said, "I don't know much about football, but it's pretty obvious to me that he's jumped off a sinking ship and couldn't be bothered." And it really does feel that way.
What, you think he's just giving up?
Well,
Isn't he a 3-time premiership winning coach?
yes, but I mean, it looks now like they won't play finals this year, and it's just like, okay, I'm
I'm just leaving.
I'm gone. So, I mean, it does feel that he's given up on them. They lost by a point on the weekend against Essendon. Essendon aren't a bad team. They're not great, but they're not a bad team.
Well, they're not good. What do you think about Essendon? Being fair.
They're fucking hard to watch, but they have been for 20 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's look at Dimma Hardwick's record. 3 premierships. The guy was almost sacked in 2016. Said he had his bags packed. He was ready to go.
I've told you about my mate's bet, haven't
Yeah.
I?
Yeah, tell that one, because that's a classic.
My background is working for betting companies, and I had 2 guys that both worked as AFL traders. Shout out Hunty and Braddles. Both AFL traders, and so they know everything about pricing and everything that goes on in the background. They had a bet on who would be the first coach sacked, Damien Hardwick or Ken Hinkley. And it's been a roller coaster bet that's gone on, I think, since 2014. And there's been times where, like Rob said, coaches have been struggling and like bags were packed. They've been going so badly, and it was a roller coaster for up until this week.
But did he get sacked?
Well, you'll never know. He's walked it. It looks like he's walked, but
Yeah.
whether or not it's been,
I think he's walked, but Ken Hinkley was before round one. They were saying after 4 rounds, Hinkley will be gone.
yeah. There's been
So-
times where they've both been look like and they're gone. But and this is an interesting one. I wonder what you thought about it. It's fucking scummy, I think, for the journalist to announce it.
Before it happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think
you know
it's
who
shit
it
house.
was too, don't
Oh,
you?
it's Tom Brown, isn't it?
No, it was Tom Morris.
Tom Morris. Right. Who's Tom
Yeah.
Brown?
Player?
Don't know.
He's
Tom
young.
Morris.
Yeah,
Grub.
yeah.
But like, you find out the information.
Who's leaked it?
Yeah.
We're talking about that too. But look, 3 premierships. For a team that were struggling for years,
Yeah.
longest serving Richmond coach, he deserves to go out.
Notoriously running ninth, weren't they?
Ninth minute.
Isn't it? They're going to do something for him, though, aren't they?
Oh, surely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And is he out the door now?
Yeah, left
Go
foot.
on. So what happens next? That's the interesting thing because it's kind of thrown a hand grenade into the coaching ranks. Adam Simpson's over in Western Australia, hanging on by the skin of his teeth.
Yep.
Not his fault that they had 1,400 games of experience out injured on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
That's insane.
Right. Ken Hinkley is uncontracted at Port. Port have said we will not negotiate a contract till August. Guaranteed that Port Adelaide are in there now trying to shore up Ken Hinkley. Because, the talk is, does Hinkley go to Richmond? Does Simpson go to Richmond? Hinkley go to West Coast? There's so many things that can change. And then we're sitting up, we're here on the Gold Coast.
And then what happens with Hawthorn?
Hawthorn's
moving
fine.
What do you think?
Mitchell.
What's going to
No,
happen?
no,
there
sorry,
on the
not
coast?
Hawthorn. North.
North, he'll be back. But yeah, so what happens up here on the Gold Coast? Stuart Dew is probably overdue. And, would a Hardwick be the kind of bloke that, if he's struggling with the media spotlight in Victoria,
Gold
he loves
Coast would be
coaching,
perfect
it would
for
be
it.
perfect for him.
Well, who heads up Tassie?
That's 4 years away.
Oh, is it?
But you'd expect the coach would get involved before the start because they go to
It'd be a
VFL.
couple of
They
years
go to
like
VFL,
Wayne
don't
did,
they?
yeah.
It could be, but 4 years out is a long time. So when they did it up here, and Sheedy was the same in GWS, it was 2 seasons before. So he would have to be out of it for 4 seasons.
But running the VFL, because you don't want to come in year one not having to do anything to do with the club. You'd want to be in from day one, wouldn't you?
Possibly. I still think that Chris Fagan will probably end up there. Because I think in 2 or 3 years,
What's
that's the time for
what's
him.
Bolton doing these days?
He's an assistant at Collingwood.
He's a Tassie boy.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
I think
100%.
if there's going to be anything that goes down to Tassie, and I think it'd be quite ironic that it'd be Fagan and Clarkson would go down together,
That'd be interesting.
seeing as though they're the two.
I hope there's no Indigenous players in
Oh,
Tasmania.
don't stop it.
Anyway, moving on. Hey, Smokes,
Yes,
who's our AFL expert? That'd be Rob, wouldn't it?
not me.
Well, that'd be Rob, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Oh,
So in the AFL tipping
I
competition,
forgot to put my tips in.
I'm coming 23rd of 24. Right, I'm obviously doing really well. The only person below me is Rob from
Yeah.
LCS.
So
it is.
who's winning out of us then?
you,
Oh, that'd be
obviously.
you, obviously.
Thank
Well,
you.
let's just put something down. Right?
I got
can't-
6 on the weekend.
I can't tip Collingwood. They're
Never.
not-
This
they're
is why you'll
9-1.
never win a tipping comp.
Correct.
And we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I can't tip them. I tip against Brisbane every week because if Brisbane lose and I get a point, I feel happy. So I'm never going to do good at tipping.
Okay, Sydney Carlton.
Carlton.
Sydney. By a point. Saints, Hawks.
I'm going to go Sydney, by the way.
Yeah,
Carlton a cast.
Saints, Hawks.
Saints.
Got to be Saints, doesn't
That'll
it?
be Saints, yeah.
Melbourne, Freo.
Another try against Smokes'
Was that
kids.
another whistle in the background there, Smokes?
That's full time, mate. The pain's over for him.
What
got
was the
mercy,
end score?
the mercy
Oh,
rule.
it was a cricket score. They got some. Actually, they did better than I thought they were going to. I think they scored a couple of tries themselves, but it wasn't pretty.
I like
Would
that.
it protect-
I think they did.
No, they scored, I think, 3 tries, which was 3 more than I thought they were going to score. So,
Well done. Good job to Tucker. Okay, we've got Geelong GWS.
Geelong.
Yeah, Geelong. It's at Geelong, so yeah.
Gold Coast versus Western Bulldogs.
Doggies.
Suns.
Suns at home.
No, they're not at home. They're up in Darwin.
Four. Doggies.
Yeah, doggies.
Suns.
West Coast Essendon. It's got to be Essendon, isn't it?
West
West Coast Eagles are paying $11.
Cricket score.
Okay, so you saw that last week West Coast played Hawthorn, the second bottom team, and they lost by 116 points.
Yeah. Watch Essendon lose this week.
No chance.
Mate, Essendon, when was the last time they paid $1.04?
2000. Year 2000, the year they didn't lose a game almost.
Was that the peptide season?
Nah, they did it later.
Richmond Port. You've got to go Richmond.
Yep.
For the only fact that they've got a new coach.
Collingwood, North Melbourne. North Melbourne's paying $13.
Watch the Jersey clash in this game.
What's the
Not even the Jersey
the
clash
Jersey
will save
clashing.
North.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Mm.
Adelaide, Brisbane Lions.
Go the Lins.
Go the Lins.
I'll go the Crows.
You go-
Okay,
you go
in
to
their
the game?
history, which teams won more finals games? Blues or Magpies?
Blues.
Collingwood, Carlton, the other team.
The answer is
It will be Collingwood.
Collingwood 82, Carlton 65.
I was going to say, because Collingwood win a lot of games to get to grand finals.
And then
lose
never win the grand final.
82. That's a lot of
82.
games.
82.
Geez, it's been that many years since Essendon won a final.
Shut your
Indeed.
face,
It's
Rob.
been a long time. Hey, Smokey, what's the go with the Ashes, mate? You're on your way over there soon?
Yeah, on my way over. It's shaping up to be I think it's going to be a great series. England with their... What's that, sorry?
What's happening to Michael Neser?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, scoring centuries, taking wickets, and doing everything.
Needs to score a
Dominating,
century.
Yeah.
Scored 123.
Against Sussex, he got out to Steve Smith.
Yeah, and even better,
Did it bounce twice?
made 122 more runs than Marnus Labuschagne in the same innings.
That's absurd.
Put him in at number 3. Drop Marnus. Neser to bat 3 for Australia.
Smokes, who replaces Jofra Archer as the spearhead?
The enforcer.
Mm.
Oh, I think they've got Ollie. There would be an argument to say that he might not. Of course, it's totally fit and raring to go. Jofra Archer walks into any side, but Anderson and Broad, they pick themselves, and then Ollie Robinson, I think, is the other one that. There's 3, so he would have been down as the 4th seamer.
Is Mark Wood still floating about?
Mark Wood as well. So it's a big blow, but it's not as big as what at first it first feels. You know what I mean? So
'Cause they had some good news with Ollie Robinson as well overnight because they thought he'd done a serious ankle injury, but it's just come back as a slight sprain, and he'll be.
And he knocked over Marnus in that game.
Yep.
So
What's happening with Uzi? Is he playing in the Ashes?
Uzi,
he'll be playing. Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
like 42 now, isn't he?
He's actually
Well,
the same age as David Warner, so
Oh, is
I know which one I'd get rid of first.
Oh, controversy.
It's not
Nah,
controversy.
Broad's playing. You'd get rid of Warner every day of the
Yeah.
week.
I think people. I heard a thing today where they were. Uzi went into a press conference and they were questioning his record in the Ashes in England, and he gave a great response. He said, "Look, I'm too old for this crap. He's like, I played all around the world. I've been successful and unsuccessful in all places around the world. It just tells me it'll even up at some stage. So
Because it's not like you get a chance next week to redeem that, a bad series in England. It takes 4 years and you still got to be in the team. It's not.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
But there is one place that Uzi hasn't succeeded yet in cricket,
Where's that?
and that is a little place on the Gold Coast at Mermaid Beach called The Yard.
The stumps are there.
Coming up
Well, he's never played
in,
there.
in the next couple of months will be The Yard's Backyard Cricket,
Backyard Ashes.
brought to you by the man himself, Adam Hollyoak,
Creator and producer.
creator and producer of Yard Backyard Cricket. It'll be happening every Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe both nights, on the Gold Coast here. Teams of 6 aside, 1 hand, 1 bounce rule, 6 and out. Must have at least 6 schooners before you bat. That's
This-
part of
I
the
love
rules.
it. I love
Sponsored
it.
by obviously the Yard, Official Beer Co, and Surface Paradise Brewing,
And responsible drinking.
and responsible drinking, obviously, because
Responsible
someone else is going to
fielding.
drive you home. But the whole idea is that there will be backyard cricket. It will be a competition, and we will be giving updates on this podcast. We may even come live one day from
I'm ready.
from there.
I'm ready for
Are
it.
backyard cricketers as prone to indoor cricketers to old man injuries?
Oh, hell
No,
yeah.
they're not, because you're allowed to hold a schooner
Oh, true.
whilst fielding.
So if you pull a muscle, you just take a bit of a drink and you're
Exactly.
Well, that's what I did when I did my car. I
You went
got
out of
straight
drink.
onto the booze.
right. You did
So
too.
the thing there is it's a shorter pitch.
Shut your face, Smokes.
It's a shorter pitch. It's a lower wicket. It's a softer ball. It's going to take off. That's the Yard's backyard cricket coming soon. Brought to you by world famous Adam Holyoake, ex-England cricket captain.
He's
So-
the face of backyard.
He is the face of backyard cricket. Well, I'll tell you what we should do.
A ball without.
We
his
should
face on
actually
it.
we should put his face, in the middle of the stumps, and if you hit his face, or back in the day, was it Mercantile Mutual Cup?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, if you hit the Mercantile Mutual sign, you got
bloody
a.
awesome.
We could actually have a Holyoake sign.
Half the reason I used to go to North Sydney Oval to
It
watch,
was, wasn't it, to watch it?
to watch
Yeah.
the one day.
And we'll have a Hollyoaks head in the corner, and if anyone hits it, then with the ball, obviously not their fist, then they get a free beer.
Lucky we weren't choosing
great
your
idea.
head.
I
because you
remember
got
the-
big
Exactly.
bumps.
I got a massive noggin.
I remember the story. I think Shane Lee had hit it, and they won 160 grand.
Oh,
And he-
because it kept jackpotting, didn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
and they had to share it.
Who between?
The players,
the
of that
players
team.
and the teams. I think it
They'd
was-
made
teams?
they'd made an agreement.
yeah, for
though.
New South Wales. No, just for. I think it was New South Wales. I think it was Shane Lee anyway.
Yeah, I believe it was Shane Lee.
I remember watching him play at North Sydney, and fuck, I think he got
He
like
could have done-
160.
He could have done a Richard Hadley.
What they
Did
do?
you get Richard Hadley? There was each year they had
yes.
Player of the Year, the Toyota Player of the Year, and the player won a Toyota. Anyway, the general idea was that if you won it, you gave it in, and they sold it and split it up amongst the whole team. Richard Hadley won it, and then basically said, "Fuck you! But I'm the only decent player in the team. I'm keeping it."
Yeah, good.
And did he drive
Takes
the
a
other
bit-
boys to trade it?
They had to catch the bus.
Brent Harvey did a similar thing at North Melbourne. He won the club raffle, won a Mazda, and the players were all told, if you
If you
pull your
win,
name
give
out,
it
you
back.
make a statement and
Well,
give it back
Didn't.
and get a redraw. Nah,
Nah,
Brent
fuck
Harvey's known as got a ass
Love
tighter
that.
than a fish. That one.
ass tighter than a fish. Is that a saying?
Just on a separate topic. Well, I don't want to try and
What then? Fishers tight asses.
just changing the topic from fish asses to amazing the degrees of separation. We talked about Stuart McGill last week, and I actually got a phone call from him last night. I'm on his podcast in the morning, so
Bullshit.
Wow.
yeah.
Shout out.
So
to
Shout
Ray.
out.
Was
Just
he
a-
out of the boot?
Well, lucky, yeah. I did ask him that.
What's
Tap
his,
3 times if you're safe.
what's his podcast called?
Oh, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I'm
Well, we're
guessing
just
cricket.
talking cricket, basically. The
No,
Ashes.
it could be about life. Could
I
be
reckon
about
he's
anything.
talking about Adam
Could be
Holyoake.
about wine.
Wait,
To be fair, it'll go into the thing about Adam Holyoake.
Could be about midgets. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah,
Stuart
it'll
McGill's
start
not
off
that
with
tall.
whatever he wants to talk about, and then I'll just take the topic onto Australia's greatest athlete and how I produce.
yeah.
Creator and producer.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't
Four-
been in the boot of a
four
car, he
sec-
could have made it.
Yeah, 4 seconds into it. Did you know I created and produced?
Oh, that's
Yep.
awesome. So what's on this weekend, boys, sport-wise? What do you got? You in the cheap
not a
seats
lot.
again?
No. There's no games of Aussie rules in Queensland for a month.
Oof, what are you going to
crazy.
do?
Well, there is. There's local footy.
Well, there's one
The
coming
Canadian
up.
connoisseur could come back.
There's one coming up. Sydney and Brisbane.
When's
That's
that?
in about 3 weeks' time on a Thursday night.
We're there.
We're there.
Where is
Can
it?
we get seats in the posh ones?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
It's in Brizzy.
yeah.
We
You
all
won't
going?
be here because you'll be bloody. No, he'll be overseas.
I'm in Bali this weekend.
Oh, there
Speaking,
you go.
speaking of,
Oh yeah,
I'll
like,
tell you what.
let's
so
leave
this
it-
is a sport.
let's leave it on this story. Let's go.
speaking of, I told Smokes I was going to Bali, and he's like, "Oh, I've got a mate over there. I'll hook you up." He likes to, meet random people for beers. I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And he goes, "Oh, he's got a couple of, he owns a couple of gyms." And I go, "Well, I'm not going to the fucking gym." And he goes, "Oh, but he also owns a couple of massage parlors."
Nice.
And I was like, "Beautiful. I like to, when I'm in Bali, I like to get massaged." And I said, "All above board." And he goes, "Oh, well, probably don't go to these because they're not really above board." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Do a bit of Google research, and they do this thing called a full body slide massage,
What's that?
which I haven't got the full. I'm just assuming.
You've got a full body.
Oh, yeah, I do. I'd probably have to pay more because there's a lot of surface area. But I imagine.
Sorry, sir, only half finished.
Yeah.
I don't know what that accent was. Anyway, moving on.
I'm going to Bali, not China.
Let's hope Mumsy's watching this one.
But yeah, I'm definitely telling her that Smokes has tipped me into this brothel.
It's not brothel, it's a massage.
Whatever. But you read the descriptions, it sounds like it's full service.
So what is a full body slide?
I don't know.
Adam, could you tell us, mate?
I don't know. I'm more interested in the Lomi massage, which we read about, which is the one for the females.
Yeah, it's
I
there's
knew there was such a thing as a happy ending for a female, but there you go.
I'm not going to name drop, but I'll send you guys a link to the services. But you can get one masseuse, you can get 2, you can get 3, you can get a couples one, full works. I'm assuming the full bodies they lie on top of you and just grind up and down. That's
us old married men.
yeah. So I'll let you know. We can do the podcast live from live from a massage parlour.
Well,
Can we not have video, please?
No video. No video.
right.
From the live from the
least
Tuggery.
you can never say I don't look after you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Got all the connections.
Wow, on that note, boys, thank you so much again this week, and look forward to some more sport next week and some more shit that we talk. Love this podcast, and this was our first test with Hollyoak not in the studio, because soon he's going to be in America.
England.
That place
The
too.
other place.
I'll be in.
You'll be in America.
Yeah.
He'll be in England. And
Are you going to America as well?
I'm going to Guatemala.
You're going to Guatemala.
I'm going to Guatemala.
I'm going to sit here on my own with 3 phone calls going in.
How cool is that? We got to link us all up. Guatemala, the US, and
England
England.
and Queensland.
And Queensland. Okay, on your boys.
Go the Blues.
Have a go. Go the Blues.
Cheers, guys.
New South Welshman.